What's going on, Alabama fans? Chris Daughtery here, and you're watching the Alabama Football Report. We appreciate you guys for joining us for our show today. And if you are as excited as I am about Alabama football getting back in action, make sure you guys like today's video for me. I think everybody watching the video right now should be super excited about the Crimson Tide taking the field here just about 30 days now. We're trying to beat our August 2023 like number, so make sure you guys help us out. Like today's video for me right now. We're going to be breaking down some observations from day 2 of Alabama getting on the practice field. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and I'm super excited to talk about the Crimson Tide this year. The first thing that I want to discuss, LT Overton. He's been out for the past 2 days. Don't think it's really going to be anything serious. He is not injured. Kane Wommack talking to Alabama media after practice today, just saying that he's not feeling well, should be back in the next couple of days. So really want to see LT Overton out there because there's definitely a position battle at that bandit spot with Jamarian Latham, LT Overton, a couple other guys as well, Keon Keeley at that spot as well. So LT Overton definitely needs to get out there to get those reps because they're going to go to somebody else if he's not out there. The first big observation that I want to talk about today is, man, those DBs are looking really, really smooth. I've been worried a lot. I think you guys watching the show have heard the concern level in my voice about this DB room, especially with all those guys leaving last year. You know, you're getting some guys in the transfer portal, but, you know, and you also have some very talented freshmen coming in as well, but you don't always want to rely on freshmen at that cornerback spot in particular to, you know, get you through the season. So I'm really excited about what I've seen so far out there on social media about how those DBs have looked, especially those young guys. Kane Wommack also talked about the addition of Keon Sabb. This is what he said. He said, Keon is a very special talent. He had some tremendous production at Michigan, won a national championship there. We are very fortunate to have that production and experience because experience is finite. So for us, I think he has done a really good job of leaning into our scheme and what we do. I thought from day one, week one, he did a really great job of just going the extra mile to get that verbiage and the terminology down so that he can go execute and play at a high level. And now you see him starting to lead in the back end. Him and Malachi Moore are doing a tremendous job of communication in the back end. This DB room, man, I really like the guys that we have starting. I assume Deshaun Jones is going to be that other guy at corner. Damani Jackson definitely going to be one of those corners, but you know, as Kane Wommack has said, we'll talk about here in a second, some of those young guys have really, really been stepping up and been very impressive so far. Obviously, we're only 2 days in. You know, there hasn't been a whole hell of a lot done so far when it comes to, you know, install and competition and things like that. There's still 18 more practices to go. But I will say after 2 days, I feel a whole lot better about the DB room. This is what Kane Wommack, Alabama's new defensive coordinator, said about what DBs are impressing so far early in this fall camp. He said, I think right off the bat, Damani Jackson and Zabien Brown have been really impressive. I think if you look at Jalen Mbakwe, he has probably made the greatest strides over the last 6 months. And then I would say all three of those freshmen, Zabien Brown, Jalen Mbakwe, Zay Mincy, I think are taking the steps in the right direction. And of course, Deshaun Jones, it's great to have him here from Wake Forest. I really like the nickname he's got for Deshaun Jones too, by the way. He calls him Day-Day. So I'm definitely going to be calling him that this year as well. So a lot of question marks in the defensive back room for Alabama, especially when it comes to that depth. So let me know right now in the comment section, guys. Grade your confidence level in that defensive back room. Scale it for me. 1 to 10, 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. I'm probably sitting at about 6.5, 7, somewhere around there right now. It is the pinned comment of today's video. So you know what that means. If that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. You can ignore it, take advantage of it, go down there to pinned comment, and scale your confidence level in the defensive back room 1 to 10. Kane Wommack also said a lot of positive things about Justin Jefferson. You know, he came in from JUCO, and he pretty much said that, you know, if one of those top 2 guys go down, whether that's Deontay Lawson or Jahad Campbell, He's got no problems putting Justin Jefferson in there, basically calling him a third starter for the Crimson Tide. This is what the exact quote was from Kane Wommack. He said, "I think Justin Jefferson had an unbelievable spring and an even better summer. And really even going into the fall camp, I would say Justin Jefferson is right there with those other two guys. I think we have 3 starter-type linebackers from that position, so very impressed with him." It's kind of one of those classic cases where you get a guy from junior college. The first year, sometimes that learning curve is a little bit challenging, and then all of a sudden, a year later, they're right there showing tremendous production. He also talked about Jeremiah Alexander. I think Jeremiah Alexander is starting to take steps forward in the right direction. He's played that jack position in the last couple of years, now making that transition over to inside linebacker. Those are 2 different worlds, and I'm really excited about both Jeremiah Alexander and Justin Jefferson as well at that linebacker position. I think they're going to be really solid for Alabama once they get those opportunities to play. Now, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, you're really missing out. You definitely should subscribe right here to the Alabama Football Report. We are just 30 days away now from our first watch party of the season. We have a lot of fun. Turn the Alabama game on the TV, put us on your phone, on your laptop. You can mute that TV, hang out with us. We're going to have a blast. Make sure you guys are subscribed. That's youtube.com/@RollTideTV. The third observation I took away from today was Justice Haynes was repping with Ty Simpson as that running back too. Now, I don't necessarily think that really means a whole hell of a lot. Jam Miller and Justice Haynes are really going to be running back 1A and 1B for the Crimson Tide, so they're really just switching things up from yesterday. Justice Haynes was taking kind of those quote-unquote first-team reps with Jalen Milroe, and it's not even in actual practice type stuff. It's just them handing the ball off and, doing things like that. But I'm very excited about what we got in the Alabama running back room this year with Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. I think both of these guys are going to take big steps forward for the Crimson Tide. And I think they're going to be better and put up more production than what we got from the running back room last year with Jason McClellan and Roydell Williams. No hate on those guys. I just think both of those guys, after they came back from that ACL injury, they just weren't the same at the end of the day. And I think both of these guys are going to be upgrades for Alabama at that running back position. Today's show is presented by Game Time. I love summertime because Major League Baseball is in full swing, and I love making that, hour and a half, 2-hour drive over to Atlanta from Tuscaloosa to catch a Braves game every single chance I get. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch, and with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Alabama games are now just a month away, so go ahead and get those tickets to watch the Crimson Tide. They've got so many other things, too. They've got football. They've got comedy. They've got theater. They've got so many things that any kind of event that you want to go to, Game Time has those. Game Time has so many features that I really love in a ticketing app as well. They've got those all-in prices. They've got flash deals. They've got views from your seat. Everything that you want from a ticketing app, Game Time has got it. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Check out GameTime.co for last-minute tickets. Now, terms do apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. I think Josh Cuevas, he came in as a transfer tight end from Washington. So far, what we've seen out there on social media, he is definitely looking the part of an SEC caliber tight end. Now, like I said, there's not a whole lot of, media members aren't out there watching scrimmages. They're just out there watching guys kind of go through the motions, doing different drills, team drills, and things like that. But Josh Cuevas does not look any different from any of those other guys that you've seen on this Alabama depth chart. Obviously, he started off his career at Cal Poly, went off in his sophomore season, transfers to Washington, gets a little bit of playing time, and the playing time that he did get, he definitely took advantage of. 41 yards averaging on 4 catches is just absolutely ridiculous. I think he's definitely a guy that can do something with the ball in his hands and, kind of elevate that tight end room for Alabama. CJ Dupree is going to be definitely your tight end one this year for the Crimson Tide, but I don't necessarily know who's going to be tight end two, who they're going to use the most of. I think Danny Lewis Jr. right now is that leading candidate. I think, last year Tommy Rees didn't really use him enough, and I think ways that he could have been used. You also have Robbie Oots. He's been in the program for a long time now. And then Josh Cuevas comes in. I'm really excited to see how Kalen DeBoer and this offensive coaching staff uses Josh Cuevas at that tight end position. So I want you guys right now, get in the comments for me. Pick a tight end too. If you think it's Robbie Oots, I know a lot of you guys love Robbie Oots. I like Robbie Oots too, but I don't necessarily think he's tight end too. But if you think he is tight end too, type RO in the comments section. If you think it's Danny Lewis Jr., type DL. Or if you think it's Josh Cuevas, type JC in the comments section. The last observation, Gino VanDeMark was getting some reps in at center today, and I think is really big. They said that they were going to do a lot of rotation along the offensive line and at other positions as well. But the offensive line is a really, really big one. When it comes to those, changing guys around different positions. Still today on day 2, Elijah Pritchett was sitting there at left tackle 1. Wilkin Formby sitting there at right tackle 1. But I think the biggest note is what happens on the second string offensive line. Like I said, Gino VanDeMark over there, he was working at right guard yesterday, working at center today, and then Rock Montgomery, those guys just swapped. He was at center yesterday, at right guard today. And then N'Keal Beatrad over there at the right tackle 2 position for Alabama. Miles McVay was there yesterday. So, there's just a lot of position flipping around, trying to get a lot of guys different reps at different positions. I think Gino VanDeMark is definitely going to be that interior offensive lineman that if one of those guys go down, he is going to be the guy to step up for Alabama along the offensive line. So if you haven't noticed by now, we've got some new graphics. This is the first day we rolled them out today. You can see this little guy right here has been spinning around the entire show. There he goes. If you like our new graphics, type me right now in the comments section.